Hi, people. I hope you're all right. Welcome to Wilco Whites. I'm Sean. Please like and subscribe to the channel. That would be great. Really would help. Yeah, I was going to look at some transfer stories, linked players today. I might still touch on it, but I thought I'd wait till the press conference because let's see what Daniel Farke has to say. And it wasn't good with what I was hearing. Team news first. Oh, Patrick Bamford out for 4 weeks. Hamstring injury picked up in the Blackburn game. Are we joking again? This guy, we're not going to get rid of him in January because he's injured. He might be back end of January if we're lucky. Does this mean Joffrey's going to leave? Or are we going to keep hold of him? Now, Daniel Farke tripped himself up because when he was asked about Joffrey, he talked about how he was such a good guy, how much he knows I rate him as a player. Never play him, though. But when he was talking about other attackers in the squad, he mentioned only Pirro, Joseph, and all the fact that Willie Gnonto can play up front. Never mentioned Joffrey. So why then to come out and say that when asked about Joffrey doesn't make sense. And again, he's tripping himself up a little bit, is Daniel Farke, in what he says. So Bamford out. We're not going to get rid. We're not going to sign another number 9. This is by the sounds of it all. Pirro is not going to be involved against Harrogate. He's got a slight, I think it's muscular. So it's going to be Joseph up top. What other options have we got? Maybe, like you said, Gnonto. Maybe he could come in and play up top then against Harrogate as well. Vober is also a doubt. I don't think he'll be involved. With Firpo only just returning to training, I would think it'd be Schmidt to start at left back. Or does he risk Firpo and give him the minutes that he might need? Good news, Gruev is back in training. That's good to hear. So centre midfield wise, we're fine, which he touched on when asked about transfers. Mentioned a few young players going out on loan. Joffrey's not part of that, I don't think. I definitely would be surprised with Bamford being injured that Joffrey goes out. It was just strange that he didn't mention him when he mentioned the strikers. That's what I'm taking from that. It was just strange. I don't know. So we don't know. He said it's going to be a quiet January in transfer terms. Does he always say that? Is he just trying to put us off the scent? They aren't going to panic buy. That's what he said. They're not going to panic buy. Even with, they're going to wait till see the Bamford situation, whether he's going to be fit. He really rates him, doesn't he? That's the thing. He really rates him. And this is when I feel the 49ers should go over his head a little bit. I don't think they will, but we're relying on an injury-prone player. He's hardly played, and he's still getting these silly injuries. No one's going to sign him. We've got him until end of his contract. I can see it. He's going to run it out. Goalkeeper. Darlow is starting against Harrogate. It was always going to happen. We knew this. It was always going to happen. When pressed on, obviously the mistakes by Meslier, he was quite honest with it. He was angry. He was annoyed. He didn't come out in public to say it, but behind closed doors, he has told him. He has blamed him for the second goal, rightly. He also said he could have done better in the first and the third against Hull, which we've said. So he's seen it. He's seen it. He has addressed it with him, but he does like to try and keep faith in players. He likes to trust his players. He also touched on other goals this season that he could have possibly done better with. So again, he's agreeing with what we've all said. He has cost us more points than just the 4. He needs more. He needs to be more consistent. Then he was talking about his age, 24-year-old young man, but he is very experienced. Over 200 appearances. He is self-confident. He is self-critical. Sorry, self-critical, not self-confident. He's self-critical. Yes, he is. It's probably why he always looks down. It looks like he's always fed up. For me, he mentioned he was named champion in the Championship Team of the Year, which we was all surprised about last season, that he were in that Championship Team of the Year, rated the best goalkeeper. That was mind-boggling. So that's gone to his head a little bit. He's going to back him. We're going to see Meslier in goal against Sheffield Wednesday. He said it's madness to think of a change when we're sitting top of the table. He's risking it all. Is Daniel Farke on this guy? He's risking it all, and I've said it. He's going to die, live or die, by his sword. And Meslier does need to step up in the next few coming weeks. Daniel Farke said the same thing, but they ain't gonna panic to buy a new keeper. On the transfers, I mean, he hasn't ruled out. He would only sign a player if it was a top quality player, which is very difficult to get in January, which it is. You're looking at fringe players coming back from injury. But he's also said he's looking at the squad and he's saying it's difficult to improve the squad right now. It isn't, though, is it? It isn't difficult to improve the squad. We've got a number 9 who's always injured and bleeding this club dry. Well, not bleeding it dry, but stealing a living, stealing a wage because he's never fit. Why not go get a Latilar like we've been linked with? I'd love a Latilar. I think he's a fantastic player. That would show real intent. I'm not thinking 15 million. It's a lot of money. It'd give us that push over the line. At least it'd be available. Centre defenders that we've been linked to. Omabamidele, Elvadi. They're not coming. He said he's happy with his defence. And that's because we've got cover in Voba. Ampadu can play there. I'd be surprised if we do get any of these players that are linked. Seen Ben Davies being linked today. It's not happening. Maybe end of season when his contract runs out and if we get into Premier League. And I think that's what a lot of these links are. Like the keeper from Argentina, Ledesma. I think it's links for next season if we're in the Premier League. He'd be a good keeper to bring in. Plenty of experience. Same with Elvadi. Again, they're just lining players up just in case, i.e. Strike goes. Elvadi would be good because he'd be good cover for Rodon, and he can also play at right back. The Omabamidele for me is a no-go. It's just he's only linked because Daniel Farke is not playing, and Daniel Farke brought him through as a young 21-year-old at Norwich. Would he improve us? I don't know. Is he the next Rio Ferdinand as it were touted? No, he's not. If he was, he'd be playing for Nottingham Forest. So I think these are just sloppy links. It's not going to happen. Ben Sheaf as well got linked with him. That's not. We don't need Ben Sheaf, and not even if we go into the Premier League. I've heard Saul would be a good addition if we got promoted. No, he wouldn't. He'd already be there if he was a good addition. We need better than Ben Sheaf. But again, Ilya Groves back, and Farker touched on that. We're plenty of cover in that centre midfield now. We've got 5. We've got 5 players in that role now. Yeah, it's disappointing for me, and I just think we half expected it. They're not going to learn from the mistakes of last season, and is it just smoke? Is it just smoke to put us off the scent? I really don't think it is this time. I just don't think we're going to sign anybody, and he's putting all his money and he's betting all on Meslier and Bamford for me, and it's gonna come a cropper with it. It really is, and it's disappointing. It's really disappointing to hear that. It does waffle on. I had to turn it off after they were talking about not bringing any players in and waffling on about Joffe when he'd not even mentioned him as a striker's choice. I hope Joffe goes to Hull or to even Wrexham. I mean, I listened to a podcast last night, a channel, Wrexham channel. They're so excited that they're linked with Joffe and Bamford. So excited. They were bigging him up as Joffe being this next big thing, being Premier League experience and all that. I'd love him to go to Wrexham, Joffe. I'd love Bamford to go. They were so excited about Bamford going, but it'd be tough to get over the line. It's not happening because he's not fit. They're not going to sign a player who isn't going to be fit. Not on 40 grand a week or whatever he's on. There's no chance they're going to take that gamble. I'd be so surprised. So it's another disappointing stream for me, and there's a lot to talk about. Like I said, we're going to do transfers. We're going to look at these players that we're all being linked with, get a bit excited about them, and then Daniel Farker's just thrown cold water all on that. And I mean, we look at Sheffield United. Ben Berreton Diaz and Chowdhury. I like that Chowdhury, good player. But they do need players, but they're getting good quality players in. And Sunderland, with that Enzo fee, taking a gamble on a player who's not quite. He's had the big moves, but he's not quite made it yet. I'd got to move to Roma, didn't he? And obviously it's not worked out for him, so they've took a gamble. And they did that with Jack Clark. Obviously, Jack Clark's big move to Tottenham wanted it, and it never worked out. And obviously, Sunderland took a punt on him, and it's worked out really well for Jack Clark. And I think that's going to be the same for Enzo Lafay. I think it's only a loan, but with probably a view to buy. That's what I'd probably like, somebody like that, who has got all the ability in the world, but it will just gone to the wrong club. But we're not going to do it. He's happy with the squad. He's happy with Bamford, whether he's fit or not. Really disappointing, and I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to look at Harrogate tomorrow. I'll do a video about Harrogate tomorrow. Look at some numbers and things like that. But yeah, apart from that, I'm going to leave it there because it's really, really disappointing today. I don't know what your thinking is. please leave a comment, like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll speak to you soon. Ciao.